It's time to hit social media for hashtags, and for that we'd like to welcome in Andy Swan, co-founder of LikeFolio.com, and we have Evelyn Baker back with us. Evelyn, dog days, but also dog food, Chewy.
Dog everything, apparently fish everything, cat everything. Chewy is the online marketplace for your pet. And granted, it's not the first place to do that. Amazon is a very strong competitor in the sphere, and we'll talk more about that later. But Chewy, which is owned by PetSmart, released or had its IPO on June 14th. That IPO price was $22. They opened at $36, reached all the way up to $41, and now today they're trading around $31. So it's been kind of choppy. However, a lot of people are excited about this company. And so, Andy, I'm here to ask you, what are people thinking about Chewy.com?
Well, people love it. I mean, I don't know about the stock that much. Like you said, it's a recent IPO, but what we can see in LikeFolio data in terms of how people are talking about their experience with Chewy is incredible. It's one of the best received companies that we have ever tracked. The growth rate in purchase intent mentions for the company is incredible, and that means people talking online about the purchases they make at Chewy. And you can see a 365-day moving average there, just totally up and to the right. Massive growth for Chewy.com. And what's really striking about this is not how much people talk about purchasing items from Chewy, which is a phenomenal growth rate, but how happy they are with those purchases. Because most of the time when companies grow like this, we see consumer satisfaction or consumer happiness start to trail off. As companies scale, they do a worse and worse job on a per customer basis. But Chewy, absolutely not the case. We see their customers are some of the happiest in the world. Their policies are very customer friendly, 365-day money back guarantee, shipping a lot of times the next day, and it's free over $49. They're just doing everything right. They're kind of like the Zappos of pet food and pet supplies, and they're just doing a really nice job. So from our perspective, major thumbs up for what Chewy has accomplished in terms of making lots of people very happy.
Yeah, and Andy, I get the whole sentiment thing behind Chewy and a lot of what your data is showing, but do you equate that to if you overlaid your data on Chewy.com with what people spend per year on their pets and what they give their pets, especially in a booming economy like we have, full employment, people spend more money, and if you probably overlaid that, would you probably see the same type of data, the amount of billions of dollars that people are spending on their pets on a yearly basis?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think what Chewy's doing is it's expanding that consumer spend. So if you're a Chewy.com buyer or shopper, you've got an account there. I'm guessing, we did a look on our data, but I'm also guessing here. But what they're doing is they're expanding the amount that you're willing to spend on your pet. This isn't grab a bag of dog food every time you go through the grocery store type of shopper. This is someone that cares about their pet deeply, that wants to make sure that they get the food delivered, the toys delivered. They're going to add new things onto their shopping cart. So I think Chewy's actually growing that consumer spend on pets as much as anything. It's not just the economy. It's actually what Chewy provides makes people want to spend more.
So I have our first tweet from a Chewy user and dog owner, from Matthew, who says, Chewy brand is everything, and this company has it. As a dog owner, I buy here over retail and Amazon all day. More convenient and better reviews of product, as well as quality. This company will beat Amazon, Petco, PetSmart, etc.
Yikes! They're going to beat Amazon.
Is he a shareholder, Matthew? It sounds like he's a fan. Look. The big thing is, though, when you're a growing company, as Andy mentions here, happiness is so crucial here, especially when you're going against the likes of Amazon. We already know the brand power that they've constructed and held over time. It's logical that people would just go to Amazon to just buy anything, whether that's pet food or, a broom or whatever it would be. You're just going to check Amazon first. So the fact that they're executing well here and potentially stealing some of that market share back, that's important. I don't know, Andy, if you have any takes on that.
Yeah, I'm certain that they are beating Amazon in terms of the growth rate of pet food and pet supplies sales. There's no way that Amazon's keeping up with that. I think it's funny that Matthew says this company will beat PetSmart. when PetSmart's the 70% owner of this company, I believe, and that's so kudos to them for kind of getting out of their own way and giving people what they want. I think, just to kind of reiterate the point here, the Chewy customer is different than the Amazon dog food buyer. It's a different customer than the grab a bag of dog food at Kroger customer. This is a company that makes people really, really happy to shop for their pets and delights them every time that they do. So far, so good. That's why I think the valuation is what it is. It's an extremely high valuation for the what the company's delivering in terms of financials, but the growth rate, the consumer happiness is so high that Wall Street's just given them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, and I think Andy makes a good point. You're going on Chewy.com and you're probably getting some all-natural premium type product as opposed to, Purina dog chow. I think our producer Jenny is buying Purina cat food for a cat when she probably should be buying that all-natural stuff.
Right. In my mind, this sort of equates to a fancy subscription box that someone chooses to go to rather than go to Amazon for whatever else. So I think, Andy, you're exactly right. It's that customer who really wants the best of the best for their pet. And also, I love the B-roll for Chewy. I could watch that all day. But our second tweet says, Chewy slammed on Amazon cutting prices to 60% off, and Chewy cutting prices as well to match it. And a lot of people are saying that since Chewy is increasing their discounts to try to compete with Amazon's, that this could potentially hurt Chewy's bottom line down the line and their chance of seeing profit.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the key. Amazon will fight back and lower prices. It's going to cut into margins at Chewy, but it's all about brand building after an IPO like this. You're not going to be profitable initially, but what you have to do is you have to get those consumers hooked. And what they've turned into pet food buying is a subscription-based service. Mm-hmm. So you have that recurring revenue, all the time. So, Yeah,
kind of those teaser rates too. I mean, you get hooked to it on the lower prices and eventually kind of tick up. But this tweet tells me that, maybe they're concerned that Amazon's their competitor. But Andy, I want to come back to your data here. And we know Chewy is a pure play e-commerce company. And we know people love to talk about their pets and they love to talk about things that they're buying online. Does your data tend to kind of illustrate these trends better when it is just pure e-commerce?
Oh yeah, yes it does. When it's a single brand like this, e-commerce, we get really, really good statistical sample size and correlation to revenue. I expect that to continue with Chewy. I think it's very early. They just IPO'd. I think that most of the stock market probably has some kind of PTSD. If you guys can remember 20 years ago, at least one of you on the panel can remember 20 years ago, we had another pet supply company with a .com at the end that kind of marked the top of the market and the top of irrational exuberance. And so there's a little bit of that fear, I think, in the market. It could be justified, but things do change, and Chewy is executing definitely on all cylinders with its consumer base.
Yeah, and Andy, real quick before we let you go, just to kind of sum it all up, you guys like what you're seeing there. Are you kind of just waiting and seeing a little bit farther in terms of the stock price, though?
Yeah, I mean, at LikeFolio, we really try not to get involved in things until we've seen a year of trading, and we can start to compare stock price to our purchase intent mentioned growth and things like that. But from an initial look, there are a lot of reasons to really respect what this company has done and to think that they have their customers' best interests at heart, which is pretty unique for a recent IPO and could pay dividends in the future, but we'll just have to see.
It sounds like it's on your watch list at the very least there, Andy, but we'll leave it there. We appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thank you.